Emotional eating is a biggie. The most basic type of emotional eating that I think most of us can relate to is the kind that we feed into when we are experiencing long or stressful days or are just going through a rough time in our lives. This can also swing in the opposite direction, leading to underconsumption. But if we are talking about overconsumption here, when we're working long hours and spending our days in that same routine over and over again, that we might not even enjoy, there might not be much else that we are looking forward to other than that big bowl of ice cream or cereal waiting for us when we get home. Now, why would this be considered emotional eating? In a way, we're actually using food in these situations kind of like a drug. And it makes sense why it is so hard for us to stay away from sugary and junky foods, because of the powerful impact that these foods have on the reward centers of our brains. They actually similarly affect us the same way that abusive drugs like cocaine and heroin and other narcotics do. I'm not kidding. So the effect you get from eating cookies and chips and ice cream are honestly no joke. If you're trying to change the way you eat, you're basically having to kick a drug habit, and that is not easy. Food just hasn't become illegal yet, so this is still a massive societal issue that we are constantly as individuals having to battle every single day of our lives. So the main reason why we use food as a drug, either consciously or unconsciously, is because we learn at a very young age, well, actually it's built into us, to avoid pain and discomfort and move towards pleasure and reward, right? And food can easily be used as pleasure and reward. But this trait can almost in a way screw us over a little bit, because when we're using food, as our guilty pleasure to avoid or to escape these negative feelings of pain and discomfort, we are almost teaching ourselves to avoid these feelings completely. And we are not properly getting taught how to deal with emotions that might not be the most pleasurable. It is really crucial, guys. I'm not kidding around here. This is a serious video. I'm sorry this is so serious, but we need to train ourselves and develop the ability to tolerate life's inevitable bad feelings. Like boredom and sadness and rejection and anger and whatever else it may be, and not run away from it. Eating to suppress feelings is emotional eating, because you're not facing the root of the problem and you're rejecting the true emotions that are trying to come out. So if you feel like you're a person that can relate to emotional eating, and you may struggle with this problem more often than not, I'm going to give you some advice right now, and this is just to help aid you in your journey through emotional eating. It is not to suggest that you even have it or, completely get rid of the problem for you. But just personally, the first thing I want to say is to forgive yourself right now. Just forgive yourself and just know that you are okay and that you're not being weak, all right, by not being able to seemingly get rid of this type of emotional eating. Okay, it's not completely your fault. Okay, it's almost in a way like you've been enslaved to your food in a sense. And that's tough. Like I said, kicking these bad habits with food is almost like kicking a drug habit, and that doesn't just always come from sheer willpower. There's added sugar in about 80% of all grocery store items, so even if you're trying to be healthy, there are ways that sugar can sneak in there and keep you hooked. Secondly, when you realize that you have committed several nights of food binging in the past week or the past month, okay, don't panic. Don't let yourself feel horrible when you suddenly realize,
oh my gosh, I meant to go out 2 times this month and now I've been out 5 times, and last night I had some wine and then I ended up eating a whole pint of ice cream and chocolate and what.
Don't feel awful about that, okay? What's done is done. And it's good to acknowledge and realize that you may be in a bad cycle right now, but acknowledging the fact that you're in a bad cycle means accepting, collecting yourself, and going forward with the mental attitude of, I'm going to fix this problem, okay? Not stay in it. There's a quote that says, if you want things to turn around for your highest good, you must keep faith, release fear, and keep your focus on solutions. Honestly, I just think that's the answer to so many things right there. But most importantly, first, I think you need to figure out your why. Why are you eating the way you're eating? Why are you eating these things that you know aren't making you happy other than in the moment? What else are you experiencing in your life? Do you have family issues going on? Do you dislike your job right now? Are you grieving? If the primary thing making you happy in life right now is your food, I think that you need to reevaluate the bigger picture and focus on trying to figure out how to make your life more enjoyable overall, before you just start deciding, I'm gonna go on a diet and that's gonna fix all my problems. Okay, where does the actual problem lie? So, moral of the story, if you are an emotional eater, which I think we all are guilty of sometimes, know that you're okay. Take a look at the bigger picture. Okay, figure out the root of the problem, whether that's self-acceptance or some other external issue. Focus on ways that you can fix that first. And lastly, remember your goals. You know, if your goals don't pertain to competing in some type of bodybuilding or fitness competition anytime soon, or becoming the next Victoria's Secret model, and your goal is just to be overall healthier, you know, don't beat yourself up over eating a brownie every now and then. You know, I think we are meant to enjoy ourselves from time to time, and we can still do that and maintain a healthy lifestyle. But if you start looking at every unhealthy food as bad and feeling guilty every time you eat it, you know, that's gonna just create a worse relationship between you and your food. Okay, that is all I got. Hope this helped. Now, go eat some healthy, good food and not your emotions. Peace.